Good afternoon, everyone. We come to you with breaking news here on the Don Lemon Show, the Don Lemon Channel, along with one of our friends of the show who has his own channel here, Michael Fanone, also on YouTube. Breaking news, another person has been shot in Minneapolis. Michael Fanone and I have been getting information on it, and we're going to give you some information. But first, I want to show you what happened. Now, according to reports, MS Now is reporting that the person is dead. I'll show you the video, and then I'll explain to you the details, at least what we know right now. Here it is.
Too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Not again! Are you fucking kidding me? That guy's dead. Yo, we need people on site.
So there is the video. I'm going to get Michael's response, but I just want to tell you just the latest that I have. Federal agent shot a person in Minneapolis, according to the governor. City officials in Minneapolis also said they are aware of the reports of possible shooting involving a federal law enforcement agent. The incident happened in the area of West 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue and was captured on a video that was posted online that you saw right there. We're working to confirm the additional details, and they're asking the public to remain calm and avoid the immediate area. And two intersections, all of that they've been blocked off. And I should tell you that there has been unrest there. I'm going to show you the unrest, but I want to know from a career, a former police officer, Michael Fanone, when you look at that video, what do you see as we see the unrest that's unfolding in Minneapolis?
Yeah, I mean, from the limited angle that we have, I mean, it's clearly a very chaotic scene. I mean, you have a number of agents. I counted, as many as 8 or 9 agents that were physically involved with trying to subdue this individual. And then, at one point you hear a shot. It's unclear as to where that shot originates from, whether it was fired by an agent or whether it was fired by what I understand to be the decedent in this case, the victim. And then there are subsequent shots fired by what appeared to be at least 2 of the agents that were on the scene, numerous shots, which continued even after it appears that the decedent was motionless.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing. Again, we don't see the origins of this encounter. My initial questions are, what was their justification for interacting with this individual? These are immigration enforcement officers. They don't have the same police powers that I had as a DC Metropolitan Police officer. There were some other questionable actions. At one point, I saw one of the agents beating the individual, it appears, in the head with what I believe was a canister of pepper spray, not a trained law enforcement technique. And again, I never saw a weapon displayed by the individual. It is legal in the state of Minnesota to concealed carry, to possess a firearm. And so I have a lot of questions about this interaction and these agents' actions. And I think one of the most disturbing things is, we have a pattern of behavior from ICE and Customs and Border Patrol in which they engage in incredibly aggressive tactics, unconstitutional tactics, and deadly tactics, as we saw, just recently with the shooting death of Renee Good. And, what's even more disturbing is that this agency appears to be unaccountable to the American people. And, we cannot trust anything that comes from the agents, the agency, or its its representatives within the administration. As we've also seen, countless examples at this point of agents and agency supervisors and heads lying both to the American people and in court.
Yeah. Michael, I don't believe that there's any credibility from this administration, whether it's whatever department it is, the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, any of it, especially coming from the executive branch, because we know how much Donald Trump lies. And that seems to be the characteristics that the people below him have also inherited. State officials have confirmed that a man was killed. This is according to WTIP News, saying that state officials have confirmed that a man was killed after being shot by an ICE agent in South Minneapolis on Saturday. The video of the incident shows a group of at least 4 ICE agents restraining an individual and holding him on the ground. They appear to hit him with an object several times before an agent shoots the man. The other agents step back and the individual on the ground remains motionless. Additional gunshots are heard and one agent appears to continue to shoot in the direction of the man. The man was transported from the scene, and the Minneapolis police chief confirmed that he has died. Details on the victim and what took place before the video shows agents wrestle him to the ground have not yet been released. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota said that he has been in contact with the White House since that shooting, and he wrote on X that the president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. So this is, again, ongoing story. It is breaking. I'm here with Michael Fanone. Michael, I'm going to show this video again, and I just want to get from you what you think of this, because I noticed that there was additional shots fired after the man was motionless on the ground. Number, maybe 6, I don't know, or 4 or 6 or more. And I'm going to play it now, and here it is again.
So much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Not again! Are you fucking kidding me? That guy's dead. Yo, we need people on site.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I incorporated this into my analysis with the Renee Good shooting, and I want to reiterate that for law enforcement, we have to justify each and every individual use of force, independent of the previous use of force. So in this particular scenario, the agents that discharged their firearms have to justify each and every round that was fired. I mean, it's unclear as to the origin of the initial shot. You do see the victim in this case react and kind of stiffen up as if he had been hit and then fall to the ground while agents continued to fire. And then there was an agent kind of on the left-hand side of the screen. You see his back, who continued to fire as it appeared that the individual was motionless. You can't see his hand. I don't know if he still had his hand on a firearm or not. We haven't heard any, or at least I haven't heard any information as to, if this individual had drawn his firearm, if the firearm was simply holstered on his person. Again, all of that should be information that would be incorporated into the investigation. But again, like you said, we can't trust what comes from this administration, and we can't trust the information we're provided from these agencies. I mean, we saw in the Renee Good shooting that they removed the state police from participating in that investigation. And I want to speak to your viewers as to how abnormal that is. federal agencies do not investigate homicides. I was on the phone recently with a really good friend of mine who was a decorated homicide investigator, legendary homicide investigator in Washington, D.C. for decades. And he was telling me that, the FBI did all the homicides that he investigated, regardless of whether there were federal charges brought, regardless of whether it was part of a federal investigation or operation, it's the state and local police departments that conduct those investigations because they're the ones who are most experienced in dealing with those types of investigations. To further add to the abnormality of what happened with the Renee Good shooting, the idea that not only would you only have federal agencies involved, but that you would use ICE and CBP as the lead agency to investigate that. You bring in state agencies, not just because they're more experienced, but also to provide the optics of no impropriety. This is going to be an independent investigation. It's going to be conducted by an independent agency. And in this case, you have literally, it's the moral equivalent of me shooting somebody as an on-duty officer and then investigating my own shooting.
Mm-hmm. Michael, I want to listen into, as you know, you and I have been talking about this, and I feel like the efforts of this administration, the way they've conducted themselves, these agents, whatever you want to call them out there on the street, the Justice Department, that they are inspiring this protest and unrest rather than de-escalating it by the way that they are handling it. I want to just listen now to our friends over at Status Quo who do such a great job, and they're out on the scene. So let's take a listen.
You see all these protesters, some of whom are standing here with their hands raised in a sign of nonviolence.
Can you hold that again? You can hold it right now. I don't know who that is. I'll find them. Thank you.
Mike, so give me your response as we watch this. Again, this is all unfolding, everyone. We're going live. We're learning about a lot of this just as you are learning about it. What do you think of what I said and what you're seeing?
We're just taking a moment to, again, resettle some gear, be sure that all of our safety equipment's working.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so, you were there. You were talking to the people. Americans are incredibly, they're angry. And they are horrified at what they're seeing play out on a daily basis when it comes to Customs and Border Patrol and ICE and the way that they are being deployed and the way that they are interacting with not only the migrant community, but with American citizens. We were talking about this earlier offline. Like it is radicalizing everyday Americans, many of whom I've talked to who are never even political, because they recognize the inhumanity of these agents and their actions, and it has a visceral effect. It is deeply, deeply disturbing.
Police line tape that's been put up across.
Listening now to live coverage in Minnesota after another person was shot and reportedly killed by federal agents there. Let's listen.
Oh, yeah.
There is a flashbangs.
off here in the crowd.
You see flashbangs, and there you see the unrest happening there
More
on the
tear
ground.
gas. Yep.
You know, just one thing that strikes me there, I didn't see any actions that would necessitate this deployment of gas and flashbangs, and also it sounds like or looks like pepper balls.
Go.
No warnings were issued,
See the
you know,
agents
by
there
law
somebody in the
enforcement.
street?
And now you just see them,
Piling on him,
you know, running out into the
and
crowd
arresting him.
and tackling individuals that were protesting their actions.
And now they are detaining people and throwing them
Agents
to the
telling
ground.
press
And you
to
see
back
them
up.
look at the person there with
man
the,
is trying to scream
is that
out
a
his
pepper
name.
ball gun? What is that, Mike? What are those guns?
It looks like, so you could deploy tear gas and pepper ball munitions from the same weapon systems. I mean, it looks to your left there at the front of the screen. That's a less than lethal 40 millimeter gun that's used for deploying tear gas.
I have done nothing at all. My name is Matthew James. Obadiah Allen.
Yeah, and this is what happens. I don't know what this administration thinks they are doing and why they think it is okay to do it. I just don't understand it, unless it's, you know, the ultimate goal is to make people afraid to go to the polls in
Sprayed pepper spray directly into the man's face.
in November. So we're listening to the reporter there. He's saying someone is spraying pepper spray directly into someone's face.
You want to kill me on the street?
There are reports, according to the Associated Press, it was a 51-year-old man who was shot by the federal agents.
I have done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I was talking to Jolly earlier, and he was receiving, you know, reports from individuals on the ground that the individual was a legal observer who was simply documenting ICE's activities.
The person who was shot?
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I have done nothing.
And so, Mike, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what happens after this? If that is indeed the case, that it was a legal observer,
I have done nothing wrong.
because you know the administration is gonna twist it and say, oh, this person, the officers were in danger and they feared for their lives. Even if the person was armed, we don't know if they have a license to carry. We don't know if he was pointing the weapon at them. If it fell out, we don't know.
Right. We don't know, and unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know the truth about what happened unless you know, there happened to be another observer there that recorded from a different angle, and that video is produced. Because again, going back to the fact you can't trust anything that comes out of this agency or its you know, leadership or their heads in the Trump administration. I'm actually shocked that we haven't gotten a statement from Kristi Noem declaring that this individual was a domestic terrorist. You know, I'm waiting with bated breath for that to come out. And you know what? Unfortunately, I believe that as we saw in the Renee Good murder, that the agents will be hailed as heroes. They'll be cleared immediately, and there will be no independent investigation, and ultimately no accountability for for these agents' actions, if in fact they were unjustified.
Yeah, and this, what I'm go on, Michael. Sorry, go ahead.
And it's just going to continue. I mean, it's going to continue until state agencies, local police departments step up and start conducting their own parallel investigations and making arrests. It's fine for people like the mayor of Minneapolis, and I think his name is Frey, and the governor Fry, Tim Walz, to come out and use harsh rhetoric that I completely agree with. But at some point, you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and you've got to protect your constituents. You have to protect the people of your state and of your city. And I think until some extraordinary efforts are made on behalf of state and local law enforcement, we're going to continue to see American citizens and members of the migrant community killed indiscriminately by ICE and Customs and Border Patrol.
As you're watching this, what are you seeing? This person, they're trying to lift him up. Is he going limp and they're having a tough time? That often happens when you have protesters, right? And people who don't want to be taken.
Yeah, I mean, we would describe it as being passively resistant.
Okay.
But, again, no idea what justified their initial engagement with this individual. I mean, obviously now it looks like they've disengaged with him because there's a crowd and people are recording them. Although, we've seen them act aggressively and violently even when they are recorded.
Right.
It's just, it's amazing to me that this is playing out in an American city.
Go on. I agree.
It's shocking. And listen, like, I know everybody knows me from January 6th and they think that I was like a security guard or a mall cop for 20 years, but I spent 2 decades of my career in narcotics. I spent a short stint in a small mission unit whose sole responsibility was recovering illegal firearms from the streets of Washington, D.C. I encountered literally hundreds of individuals that were armed, hundreds. And, our unit was specially trained to deal with those types of encounters. And I can tell you that in a 9-month period, we recovered collectively more than 600 firearms, many of which were on individuals' persons. And you know how many times we shot the individual, Don?
How?
0.
Speaking of that, Michael, look at this is a gun they're claiming that the man had.
Yeah. I mean, again,
we don't know.
we don't know. I mean, I'll give you an example. What was it? Several months ago, I believe it was in Chicago, ICE agents claimed that a woman rammed their vehicles, that she was part of what Kristi Noem and ICE described as an ambush attack on agents. And it later played out in court, and it was determined by testimony from ICE themselves. I guess there was at least one agent that took their oath seriously and testified that, in fact, they rammed her vehicle. At one point, they said that they shot her. I believe it was 5 times. This is the one where, one of the agents had texted, that the agent that shot her texted that I fired 5 shots and she had 7 holes. And that later came out. But the judge determined that, through the investigation, one, while she had a firearm, it was holstered and it was not on her person. It was out of her reach in the vehicle. And so, these agents, they used the justification that she was in the vehicle, she was attacking them. It was determined that she was not. And in something that I've never heard of before, in a case in which an officer used deadly force and shot someone 5 times, the case was dismissed. A judge determined that this agency lied and shot this woman 5 times for no reason and dismissed the case. So that's what we're going up against when we interact with ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, is a lawless agency that uses violence indiscriminately, does not act in accordance with the Constitution or federal law. They are essentially state thugs.
It's really unbelievable. You're right. They are state thugs. But the thing is also the training. This is where the training comes into play. Look at this. I think we need to watch this. So you see, look at the number, and they're out here breaking up the protesters. The thing is that they wouldn't be in this situation if they were better trained, or if they had gotten some permission or cooperation from the state or local officials there, elected officials, people that the people of that state and town or municipality elected to represent them.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you brought up the training aspect of it. And, if you hear from this administration, I think recently they just put out that ICE and Customs and Border Patrol are the best trained law enforcement agencies in the world. Yeah. There's this misconception that law enforcement in this country is interchangeable, that every agency receives the same type of training, but more importantly, that they engage in the same type of activities and enforcement on a daily basis. Simply not true. Law enforcement agencies have incredibly different missions, different focuses. And while we might receive, what I typically refer to in training as a familiarization in different types of techniques, it's not put into practice on a daily basis. And anyone who works a job knows that whatever training they may have received initially, it's what you do on a daily basis that really is the on the job training is what's most important. ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, they have a completely different mission from state and local law enforcement. They are not traditional policing agencies. They have limited, enforcement powers. They don't have the ability to conduct a traffic stop. They can't enforce state and local law. They can only enforce federal law. And this particular agency, ICE and CBP, in their mission, can only enforce immigration law. But yet we see them constantly engaged in these unlawful encounters with American citizens. It is not lawful to demand proof of citizenship from an American citizen. And if you don't have, at the very least, reasonable suspicion to believe that someone who may very well be undocumented is in fact undocumented, you don't have the right to demand paperwork from them. But yet we see this agency going out on a daily basis, interacting with the public in an incredibly aggressive and in many cases antagonistic behavior. I was just watching the video that I think came out, I believe it was yesterday, in which there's a woman who's simply filming ICE agents in a parking lot, and an ICE agent starts taking down her information. And she says, well, what are you taking my information for? And he's like, well, we've got this neat database that we're collecting all your names, and you're going to learn very soon that you are now considered a domestic terrorist. That's how this administration views people that disagree, not only with its policies, but also with its unlawful practices. You're a domestic terrorist.
Let's watch this, Mike.
Yeah. Couple balls into the crowd as well. Some of the protesters trying to throw the tear gas canisters back at the federal agents. Just this endless use of force.
Thank you.
It's not even really clear to me what the purpose is.
Mike, you said that same thing. What is the purpose?
Other than the pain.
Yeah, I mean, listen, law enforcement has the ability to disperse a crowd when it's been declared an unlawful assembly or a riot. I am accustomed to a level of professionalism that is clearly not on display here today. When I participated in that type of enforcement as a Metropolitan Police officer, it was strictly supervised. each and every deployment was accounted for. Tear gas canisters were serialized and recorded. They had to be accounted for every time an officer deployed one, it had to be accounted for. It was approved by a supervisor that was on scene. There were warnings issued, all of the things that we see lacking in every single engagement by ICE and Customs and Border Patrol under this administration.
Yeah, and what we appear to be watching here is a standoff between protesters, but I don't even know if it's a standoff and why they're moving. I mean, unless the protesters are threatening them somehow. And I didn't.
It's hard to say. I mean, from what we're seeing here, but I don't even to be quite honest with you, I don't understand what was the purpose of them moving out beyond the police line. To engage with individuals and then simply to retreat back as you're seeing now.
So you are watching Don Lemon, Michael Fanone, police officer Michael Fanone, former police officer Michael Fanone, and we are watching the unrest in Minneapolis after the reports of a 51-year-old man shot. We saw the video, we know he shot, but there are reports that he is dead. We're gonna show you the video. I want to warn you that it is disturbing, but we'll show you the video, and this is why we are live right now. This is the actual shooting of this individual. Here it is.
Too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Not again! Are you fucking kidding me? That guy's dead. Yo, we need people on site.
Wow, Mike. I don't know what to say, Mike. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I'm
again,
stunned.
it's like,
You're stunned too, I'm sure.
I thought I'd seen it all. And then, then I saw
pushing people, you know?
the way that these, I mean, listen, you can blame the administration, which I do. You can blame leadership, which I certainly do. But at the end of the day, it's these individual agents that are going out there and performing, their mission with no humanity, a total lack of empathy and compassion, and an inability to understand that that the community doesn't just reject the administration's policies, they're rejecting the inhumanity that's on display. I mean, I'm somebody as a law enforcement officer that certainly supports responsible law enforcement and recognizes a need for it in our communities. I recognize a need for targeted immigration enforcement, but this is just it's disgusting.
When you were in the police department, if something like this would happen, what's the next? What is the protocol? What's happening now, or should be happening, I should say, because we don't know if it's happening under this circumstances.
I mean, listen, once the scene is declared safe, the first responsibility for those agents is to render care, to provide life-saving care to the individual. That's first and foremost. And it doesn't appear, I mean, obviously the video cuts out shortly after, but I didn't see any of those agents rushing in to render care. The other thing, just going off of their track record, we know for a fact that Renee Good was alive for at least 8 minutes after, she was fatally shot, and no one rendered aid. In fact, they denied a physician the ability to render aid to her. It's despicable. I mean, the next call would be to supervisors, state police, local police would be called. Internal affairs would begin an investigation, both by the actual federal agencies, although I don't even know if ICE and Customs and Border Patrol have an internal affairs division. And there would be a lengthy investigation that would begin, obviously, at the scene. I think you would expect that scene would be held for multiple days under a normal officer-involved shooting. That's my experience. We saw in the Renee Good shooting that they cleared that scene, I think, within an hour.
I want you to stand by, Michael, and look at this. We're waiting, I believe, a news conference.
Members of the community
this
have
is
been
a report
concerned
from,
and wanting to have
this is
a full
report from
investigation
CBS
over the Renee Good
in Minnesota.
and not just saying that there shouldn't be one, right? That the officer was acting in self-defense. That's what DHS has said. And they're saying, well, if we don't have an investigation, how do we know that for sure? And so I think there's some distrust there among some in the community over that very thing that you get at of, what DHS says in the immediate aftermath of a shooting like this, and then what people see on eyewitness video. But
oh my God, they're even questioning it.
Well, note here, that video is from.
You hear that, Mike?
Listen, just going back to the abnormality of
we will be able to see such a video.
The way that this agency operates, these agencies operate.
DHS says a man is
when
shot
there were
dead,
officer-involved shootings in my
this
department.
video shows, and our crews on the scene,
unless it was
documenting for us what
so
is transpiring
obvious
on the ground in
through,
the immediate aftermath
the releasing
of
of body-worn camera footage,
from the mayor and the police chief here momentarily.
other independent video.
The head of Border Patrol, Gregory,
law enforcement,
was supposed to speak
as
well.
Always issued statements that would say, we are conducting a thorough investigation.
We don't know we're going to have dueling press conferences.
We will,
to figure out
let
exactly
you know
what the
at the conclusion of that investigation our findings.
Please
Please respect
the
investigation.
Moments,
That's normal
we
law
only have
enforcement
what we have at the time.
What we
And-
get from
and
this
we,
administration
as we've been
is
telling everybody,
moments
setting the scene of
after
what happened,
the shots are fired,
the
agent
know
acted
a
in
man,
self-defense, was
51-year-old
completely
man is
justified,
dead.
medals for everybody,
Altercation
and the victim was a domestic terrorist.
dead earlier this morning.
And that's why nobody trusts what they say.
Looks like the mayor is here.
The mayor, it's going to be the mayor and the police chief.
Yes.
And so we will listen in. Let's listen. There's Mayor Fry.
And some of the details based on the limited amount of information that we have thus far this morning, and then I will provide some comments myself. Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis police received a report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident, and we believe he is an American citizen.
Wow.
We have not been told any official reports of what has led up to the shooting, but we have seen the video that is circulating on social media. Our demand today is for those federal agencies that are operating in our city to do so with the same discipline, humanity, and integrity that effective law enforcement in this country demands. We urge everyone to remain peaceful. We recognize that there's a lot of anger and a lot of questions around what has happened, but we need people to remain peaceful. In the area, we have an unlawful assembly at this time. Minneapolis police have given multiple warnings for the crowd to disperse. We are asking for people to avoid the area and to leave if you are there. We have requested mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and from all our local and county regional partners. We ask everyone to remain calm and to please do not destroy our own city.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end? How many more lives need to be lost before this administration realizes that a political and partisan narrative is not as important as American values? How many times must local and national leaders must plead with you, Donald Trump, to end this operation and recognize that this is not creating safety in our city? As you'll hear from Director Sayer in just a second, we have seen these kinds of operations in other places, in other countries, but not here in America. Not in a way where a great American city is being invaded by its own federal government. I'm done being told that our community members are responsible for the vitriol in our streets. I'm done being told that our local elected officials are solely responsible for turning down the temperature. Just yesterday, we saw 15,000 people peacefully protesting in the streets, speaking out, standing up for their neighbors. Not a single broken window, not a single injury. Those peaceful protests embody the very principles that both Minneapolis and America was founded upon. Conversely, the mass militarized force and unidentified agents who are occupying our streets, that is what weakens our country. That is what erodes trust in both law enforcement and in democracy itself. So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again, to make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about. This is not a partisan issue. This is an American issue. This administration and everyone involved in this operation should be reflecting. They should be reflecting right now and asking themselves, what exactly are you accomplishing? If the goal was to achieve peace and safety, this is doing exactly the opposite. If the goal was to achieve calm and prosperity, this is doing exactly the opposite. Are you standing up for American families right now? Or are we tearing them apart? The invasion of these heavily armed masked agents roaming around on our streets of Minneapolis, emboldened with a sense of impunity, it has to end. This is not how it has to be. So, to President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader.
Ooh.
Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back. Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents.
Director's there.
My name is Rachel Sayer, and I am the Director of the Emergency Management Department for the City of Minneapolis. I took this job to keep us safe because I live here, and this is my community. We are doing everything we can to mitigate the impacts of this terrible situation. The city's Emergency Operations Center continues to be activated, as it has throughout the surge in federal agents over the last few weeks. We are tracking impacts and coordinating the city's response to this situation, which is having profound repercussions in our community. I can't underscore enough how much Operation Metro Surge is impacting our city. Families with loved ones detained and those who are afraid to be in public lest they become targets need help accessing the most basic necessities like food, housing, and rides to school. Businesses are shuttering and our local economy is severely impacted, which means families are suffering just as we were rounding a corner in our recovery. Many of our Minneapolis residents, my neighbors, my friends, my community members, are ceasing participation in public life, afraid to even go to the doctor. In response, the city enterprise continues to utilize our entire emergency apparatus. That means staff across departments, often around the clock, are putting their regular jobs on hold in order to respond to the impacts of Metro Surge. I want everyone to know there are numerous resources available to community members right now. We have mental health help available. We have food assistance, housing and rental assistance, legal help. We are sharing information about what to do if you are exposed to tear gas, pepper spray, or other chemical agents. And the state AGs and ACLU are collecting reports of rights violations. You can access these resources on the city's virtual resource center at minneapolismn.gov/ICE. Please share this information with your neighbors. We have help and we want you to be able to access that. My background is in international humanitarian response in conflict zones in Yemen, Haiti, Syria, Iraq, and Ukraine. What I've seen here
Did we lose it, Mike?
is what I've seen there. A powerful entity violently and intentionally terrorizing people, making them afraid to go outside so they can't earn a living, so that kids are forced out of school. This has a lasting generational impact. People can't plan a single day of their lives because they don't know who is around the corner and if their family member or neighbor is about to be taken away. In these times, you see both the best and the worst. The worst is the terror and the feeling of helplessness. The best will continue to be our community's response. The way we are showing up for each other, that is in the absolute worst of times. We're showing up for each other in the absolute worst of times. I'll turn it back to the mayor. Thank you.
We'll open it to questions. We are seeing an incredible volatile situation unfolding right now around that scene. Is there any communication right now between local and federal law enforcement or cooperation, or where do those efforts stand to try to calm what's going on down there right now?
I'll turn it to the chief to answer.
So the question was, there's an incredibly volatile scene in South Minneapolis right now, and the extent of communication with law enforcement agencies. We've established a command post that is led by Minneapolis Police, and there are representatives from all of the regional, local, county, and state organizations. We have had communication with Homeland Security, but they have not been able to provide us any specific details around the incident itself. We are responsible for ensuring the safety of people on the streets of our city. And we are doing everything that we can to maintain the peace right now, led by Minneapolis Police, but with the help of the Minnesota State Patrol, Hennepin and Ramsey County Sheriffs. Several suburban towns are in the city helping us with 911 calls. We have done an emergency recall of all sworn personnel back to duty. And we are working with the fire department right now to ensure that 2 small fires that were started in the area are safely extinguished. But again, we need everyone to avoid the area if possible. And the people who are in the area, we understand your frustrations. This is not sustainable. But we need people to leave the area at this time.
Is the National Guard involved?
We have communicated with the National Guard. They have been on standby for several days. And we have ensured the National Guard, as well as all of the local law enforcement partners, are aware of the situation.
Chief and Mayor, if I can ask you, this is a statement from Tricia McLaughlin, spokesperson for DHS. She said in her statement, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Seen here, they showed a picture of it. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid. Is that what happened?
So Minneapolis Police, the question was, you read a statement from the DHS saying that a weapon was presented and there was attempts to disarm the person. Again, like I stated earlier, Minneapolis Police, as well as our supervisors, our watch commander responded to the scene. We were not provided any public safety statement around the incident, what happened. We have since seen a video that is circulating online, like thousands of other people have at this time. So we do not know what happened prior to the recording that is online right now. I immediately called for the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to respond, to conduct an investigation. They are on the scene. I believe the FBI is on the scene as well. But I think the video speaks for itself. What I can tell you is we have identified this person, 37-year-old white male, resident of the city. The only interaction that we are aware of with law enforcement has been for traffic tickets. And we believe he is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry.
Chief, can you clarify?
Did you hear that, Mike?
Out of this investigation, has the BCA been cut out like we've seen from the 2 previous shootings?
The question was, has MPD been cut out of the investigation and has the BCA been cut out? As I stated, I immediately requested the BCA to respond. It's my understanding that they are on the scene. I have not heard anything otherwise. There was initially some information was relayed to me over the radio that our officers were told that they were either not needed or could leave. And I gave a direct order to ensure that Minneapolis Police maintain the scene as well as other state and local law enforcement.
Chief O'Hara, do you know whether it was multiple officers involved in the shooting or one officer? And do you know their whereabouts? Are they in custody at all or still on the scene?
So the question was is there multiple officers involved in the shooting? That is the preliminary information. That is our understanding, that it was more than one law enforcement officer involved in the discharge. And again, there is public video that shows several law enforcement officers in a scuffle with someone.
Can you talk about the discrepancy? The initial reports said that the victim here was 51 years old. What the information that you have, where's that from?
So the question was, the initial reports said the victim was 51. The information that I have is we sent Minneapolis police officers to the hospital with the individual who was shot, and they have since identified that person.
2 more questions.
Do you have a name of the individual who was shot?
I do, and I'm not releasing it.
Are you able to talk? Have you been able to talk with top ICE and Border Patrol officials to ask them to please be in on this, or have you talked to them, or have you been rejected?
The question was, have we talked with federal law enforcement to be in on this? We have had conversations with Homeland Security Investigations this morning. We are told they do not have any information to share at this time, but we will attempt to maintain those communications going forward.
Do you believe that?
Question,
Do you believe that?
Last question.
Do you believe that they have no information to share at this time?
The question was, do I believe that they have no information to share at this time? I don't know if the individual that we were in contact with would or not. This is a Saturday morning. And just like it was for us, it is a scramble to do an emergency recall and to get people to the scene.
All right, thank you guys. We'll have more information if we get any later throughout the day.
Okay, so
that was Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara and Mayor Jacob Fry
as the
talking to
person there
us
says,
about
that's,
the incident.
Police Chief Brian
And Caroline,
O'Hara.
you were taking copious notes here.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now as it relates to this situation. Michael Fanone is here. Mike, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
I want to bring in Jolly as well, who's been in Minneapolis, and Jolly has been covering this for us as well. Michael, a couple things that I want to say. You heard what they said, but just real quick before we get to it, license to carry, that's going to be problematic.
Yeah, like I said before, it's legal to carry a firearm in the state of Minnesota. It's legal to concealed carry. And now we've learned from a local law enforcement official that this individual did indeed have a permit to carry a concealed firearm. The statement from, I think her name is Tricia McLaughlin, the spokesperson for DHS, simply said that the individual, that when they engaged the individual, that he was in possession of a firearm, didn't say anything about, whether he produced that firearm, whether he pointed that firearm, but again, lawfully able to carry the firearm. And, again, this goes into, like I was telling you before, I participated in numerous firearm seizures, hundreds, probably thousands of firearm seizures in my 20-year career as a DC Metropolitan Police officer. Never, despite having in many cases justification to use deadly force, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use deadly force to resolve the incident. The last thing I would ever want to do is take a person's life. And so was still effectively able to place these individuals under arrest without ending their lives. Now we have an agency that is actively engaging individuals indiscriminately without cause, and will undoubtedly come across individuals who are legally in possession of firearms. My fear is that they are simply using that possession to justify killing them. And that is not lawful. But without any type of independent investigation, I don't know whether these agents were equipped with body-worn cameras. My understanding is that this agency does not require its agents to wear body-worn cameras. That they felt as though, this is a statement from Kristi Noem, that expense was exorbitant, despite literally having the largest law enforcement budget in America.
But also, if I can interject right there, Mike, I just want to say something, because I think that you would agree with me, Michael, that when we assess any situation, we should take the totality of our evidence here. And the totality of evidence in this situation is that this agency, Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol, ICE, which at this point, they're all the same thing, tomato, tomato, has shown over the last 2 weeks in Minneapolis that everything is a justification of use of force for them. They've been scared of people with phones. They literally pepper gas, tear spray, pepper spray, and used excessive force to people throwing snowballs. They have, stopped people on the road that they thought were following them, when really those people were just driving home to their house. So when you look at all of that, if they're scared of a cell phone, a snowball, and somebody riding down the road, then a gun's going to terrify them. But then I also say to the same crowd that screams, "This is your Second Amendment right to carry," what is your answer that if merely the possession of a gun is what they're going to use as justification, is in fact their justification? Do you then say we stop carrying? Like, where are we going with this? What's the slippery slope here? Having a legal concealed carry is a justification for murder. And by the way, let's make sure we point out, Don, the precedents in the state of Minneapolis for killing somebody who's legally carrying a firearm. His name is Philando Castile. Philando Castile informed the officer, I have a legal permit and a firearm on me. The officer said, no problem, hand me your ID. He reached for his ID and was shot and murdered because the cop was scared he had a gun in the car. So my concern here is you have an untrained police force. Michael and I talked about this a little earlier today. You have an untrained police force. They don't have the experience. They don't have any, real shoot, no shoot scenarios they go through before they're on the street with firearms. And so my fear is that they saw this firearm on this individual and overreacted. At one point, Don, and I'm going to credit Michael for this analysis. I have a video I haven't posted yet. I just finished editing right now, and I'm about to post a video. If you watch the video of the shooting, there's a point where the deceased victim's he goes limp.
And they're still shooting him. Yeah.
Not only are they still shooting him, I hate calling them officers. Two goons are walking backwards, shooting over and over and over and over into him. I mean, so even if he had a gun, how do you will never be able to justify that. As Michael will tell you, the justification for each round has to be different. You can't use a blanket justification for every shot you fire when you're a law enforcement officer.
And that's right, Jolly. But what we are experiencing now is an agency that is not concerned with its agents' conduct. It's not concerned with justifying not only the first shot, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, et cetera. It's simply, Donald Trump made the statements, the blanket statements early on. When they spit, we hit. Mm-hmm. Stephen Miller went around to law enforcement agencies across the country, including my former employer, the Metropolitan Police Department. He attended numerous roll calls and said, listen, the gloves are off. The gloves are off. So the message to law enforcement is clear. Now, fortunately, most state, local, municipal law enforcement agencies, for the most part, are well trained and disregard these, insane statements from political leaders. But we now have a federal agency who has been directed to instill, not only to go out and enforce immigration policy, but to instill fear in the communities, because it's not just about the enforcement. The enforcement is almost not even second tier, third, fourth, fifth. What it's about is political retribution. It's deploying federal agents into cities and states that voted overwhelmingly against Donald Trump and this administration, and this is his retribution against those states. Make no mistake about it. What they're doing here is not making this community safe. I mean, you don't have to be a former law enforcement officer. You don't have to have any experience in the profession whatsoever to recognize the fact that all they're doing is terrorizing this community, making it less safe, and in the process, killing people indiscriminately without justification or cause.
Mm-hmm. Jolly, you were there. You spent more time there than I did. And as you spoke to the people there and as you kind of ingratiated yourself with the community, how are they? To me, it felt like that they were terrorized and that they were in shock. Many people were very solemn. The protesters were actually very animated, but they're sick of this. And the portrait that the administration and Department of Homeland Security and Kristi Noem and what's her name, Bondi, and the others, the portrait that they're painting is just not what's happening.
No, it's not. And somebody asked me this morning, they said, Jolly, like I think you're the first video I saw go up saying there's a shooting in Minneapolis. You're not even there anymore. How'd you report it so fast? And the answer is my phone rung 5 or 6 times in a row. The moment this happened, people actively on the ground, on the scene, eyewitnesses calling me. These are people I met over the course of my last couple of weeks in Minneapolis, because you're right. I did get to know a lot of people in that community, and they are fed up. They do feel terrorized. When you ask the citizens of Minneapolis what they want, it's almost blanket across the board. They want ICE out of their town. You saw when Jake Lang pulled up for his, anti-whatever rally, 5 people showed up in support of him and 5,000 showed up to run him out. Minneapolis is a strong city. Minneapolis is a close city. I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding that Minneapolis is this really big city, and it's really just not. It's a rather small town, and it's a big city with small town vibes. It don't take you long being there to get to know everybody.
It's a medium-sized city with a small town vibe. Yeah, it's not a big city. Yeah,
I agree. That's actually a good analysis. And so I bring that up because the fact of the matter is that when they say this is our community, this is a pretty small community with very strong bonds. And ICE is going around not only terrorizing, but continually shooting and murdering their neighbors. How much longer do you want this community to sit by idly before somebody stops it? I don't know if that's the federal government. We know it's not going to be the federal government. Is that going to be the state government, county government? I don't know. But when you say the protesters are animated, yeah, wouldn't you be? But the protesters have done nothing. Listen, I was there in North Minneapolis when they shot the guy through the door. I was on the ground within 15 minutes of the shooting, so I saw pretty much the whole thing post-shooting develop. Nobody threatened ICE. Nobody was harmful, but ICE, on the contrary, was very harmful to the community. Tear gassing in amounts I've never seen before. The Minnesota State Police showed up and tear gassed us as well. I put a video up showing how they were providing cover for ICE to gas us and leave, and then Minnesota State Police gassed us and leave. So this community feels like ICE is killing their neighbors, ICE is kidnapping their neighbors, ICE is terrorizing their town. Meanwhile, the Minnesota State Police and the Minneapolis Police Department is providing cover for them. Meanwhile, the mayor's doing nothing about it. Meanwhile, the governor's doing nothing about it. And say what you will about it, the community feels like they don't have anybody to say, hey, make this stop. What would you do? You would be as frustrated as they are. Look how peaceful they're protesting now. This goes back to Ferguson. This goes back to the Ferguson protest. Hands up, don't shoot. Once again, hands up, don't shoot. That's what you're seeing from the protesters right here. That's a hands up, don't shoot protest. And
Charlie, let's listen for a moment, okay? Let's listen.
And no doubt that aside from here on the southern end of this intersection, that's the center of this now investigation into a man who's been killed by federal immigration agents. To the north, to the east, to the west, I expect that there are also protests because John and I were there earlier in the day. And we saw the crowds that were gathered there at that time.
This is the First Amendment, and you guys represent tyranny. ICE out! ICE out! ICE out!
This is what I don't understand: is why is law enforcement so afraid or fearful of people who are doing just this? This does not scare me, and I don't have a gun. Perhaps
no, I don't
you
know.
can.
I mean,
there you go, Mike.
Don. So in my experience with protesters, and I came on the police department shortly, at the end of 2001. At that time, we were dealing with the IMF protests, which were, large scale protests in Washington, D.C. And we would maintain a presence at, certain significant locations in Washington, D.C. I mean, most of them were channeled towards the International Monetary Fund.
Do you mind if I interrupt you for a second? I just want to listen to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let's listen.
And so I came out here to use my First Amendment right to protest that. I can't believe what's happening in our city. Everything was so peaceful and beautiful and loving here until these cowards came in with masks and guns and started inflicting tyranny on our neighbors. They're killing us. They're killing us.
Yeah, and that's not an exaggeration. It's now 2 people that have been killed by the federal government here.
We are a block away from where they executed somebody. We are watching them protect murderers over and over again. It won't stand. What's happening here, if you show the people, this is not rioting. This is not agitation. This is the First Amendment. This is the freedom of assembly. This is what they are not protecting. What they're not protecting is the people. What they're not protecting is the Constitution. What they're not protecting is the people. They're protecting the fucking fascist overlords of this bullshit fucking country. We won't stand for it. America could be great if these fucking cowards got the fuck out of here. Jesus fuck.
The one thing, the camera, the microphone will capture the sights and sounds of what is happening here.
Yes.
But it cannot capture the emotion. So tell me, what are you feeling in this moment? What are the emotions that you are seeing and hearing from your fellow Minneapolis residents?
Well, I think it's reasonable anger. The thing that is really hard to explain is that there are no words in the English language that can truly captivate how we feel. We can call this depraved. We can call this evil. We can call this a million things. But the pain, the anguish that we feel inside of our bodies at this unjustness, it's indescribable. That's why 50,000 people showed up downtown to march in negative 15-degree weather yesterday. The emotion is anger, it's sadness, it is community, and it is deep and agonizing pain.
Agonizing pain. Your Governor Tim Walz just came out and said that he called on the Trump administration to remove all immigration enforcement agents from the state.
Good.
Immediately.
Good.
Do you need him to do anything else?
Yeah, I've seen a few people say it, but if Tim Walz came out here on the front lines and stood with his people, that would be a sign of courageous leadership. I appreciate his words, but right now we need action.
There you go.
We need him to show up. We need Jacob Fry. We need Tim Walz. Our city council members are showing up and showing out. They're being assaulted by ICE. What we need is our leaders to show up and be with the people in this moment.
Thank you very much, Mitch. I really appreciate the time. Thank you, and I'll let you be safe here and keep your head on a swivel. All right, man?
Yeah.
So you guys have heard me, Jolly and Michael, say the same thing. Where are the leaders? Where are the senators? Where are the Congress people? Where's the mayor? Where's the governor? Why aren't they out there showing folks that they are actually on the front lines with them? Now, I don't look. That's just my opinion. Go on, Jolly.
But all I wanted to say was, I want to remind everybody, it's still freezing cold out there. It was when I left. When I left
9 below, right?
Yeah, when I left Minneapolis, the high for the weekend, I think, was like 3 degrees. So right now out there, and I can check my app, it's probably somewhere between 3 and 7 degrees out there. But the wind chill and the feels like temperature
-7,
well below -7. There you go. And so these people are still out there right now, standing up for their community in -7 weather. Oh, by the way, take note of over half, if not more, of these protesters have respirators on. Also, take note that all the thug ICE Gestapo over there have gas mask on, protective mask on. Do you think all these people in Minneapolis just have respirators hanging around in their house, in their closets? No. They've been getting gassed so much by ICE agents over the last 2 weeks that they've went and bought them all. When I was at the Whipple Federal Building, I was stopping by Menards. Menards is like the local hardware store there. I was stopping by Menards. There they go. They just deployed gas. They just deployed gas. They just deployed gas.
Go ahead. Let's listen in. Let's listen in.
Throwing out tear gas. John and I are edging back away from it. John, at your feet. We're making our way back. Agents are now down the road behind us too.
Listen, the camera doesn't do justice. Unless you're on the ground, look, there's information right in the face. Look at this. Watch.
As they back up.
Every single fucking time.
They have to retreat through clouds of tear gas.
every single fucking time with ICE.
You see here protesters trying to lob the tear gas canisters back a little ways. Mercifully, the wind is blowing some of the tear gas away from us for the most part right now.
I got to tell you something first, Don.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
When professionals deploy tear gas, they check the direction of the fucking weather. I mean, with the wind.
Seriously.
Just a little, side note for the audience members at home. When a professional law enforcement agency deploys tear gas, they're going to make sure that it doesn't blow back on them, which is what you're
right now
witnessing right now. So again, this is the difference between law enforcement professionals and the deadly Keystone cops that you're observing. That is ICE and Customs and Border Patrol.
And also to further Michael's point, Don, to make Michael's point even more like pertinent here, I've been in that crowd when they did what they just did. I've 30 times over the last 2 weeks. When they deploy it, they don't look at who, what, how. They just toss it. That's how it ended up in a minivan a couple of weeks ago. That's how a 6-month-old ended up in the hospital. They throw it under vehicles, in vehicles. They throw it in people's face. I watched them throw a flashbang down, leaving shrapnel in a reporter's eye, nearly blinding her if it would have been a half an inch higher. There could be children in the crowd. They came in that neighborhood in North Minneapolis after that shooting, and there was children out in the street because it's natural. If something's happening in your neighborhood, people step outside. Children were there when they got tear gas. They do not care. It is indiscriminate. And it is without, any care for life, any care for safety, and it's all to suppress First Amendment rights. We were all watching that live stream, and nothing happened for all of that to occur. Nothing.
Yeah. No, I want to add to that, Jolly. Professional law enforcement agencies use chemical munitions, less than lethal munitions for crowd dispersement. In mass First Amendment assembly, like what you're seeing here. Now, whether it's justified or not is another conversation, but this is the way that it's deployed. It's what it was developed for. It's why law enforcement agencies have them. What I have seen, I know what Jolly has seen, is agents deploying these munitions while they're on a traffic stop. Agents deploying these munitions when they're in a residential neighborhood involved in not an enforcement operation that you would conjure up in your mind, in which there would be dozens of agents involved in potentially stopping dozens, but simply the mere interaction with maybe one individual, where a handful of people, residents of the neighborhood, might come out and watch what's going on and become dismayed with the treatment of the individual that ICE is interacting with. And then all of a sudden you've got ICE agents deploying these chemical munitions in a residential neighborhood to disperse 2 or 3 people from videotaping them or watching them. It's not something that I've ever seen in my career as a law enforcement officer. It's certainly not something that would ever be authorized by our agency. And you've even seen Bavino, the self-declared commander at large of ICE and CBP, walk around with chemical munitions canisters strapped to his vest and throw them at places like gas stations and residential neighborhoods and outside of schools. It is indiscriminate violence, unjustified violence perpetrated by a federal agency.
Did you see? Okay, let me read this to you real quick. A statement by Department of Homeland Security. And Michael, let me just say ahead of time, you called it. At 9:05 a.m. Central Time, as Department of Homeland Security law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien wanted for violent assault, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect. but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. So they just admitted that they fired first. Also, they just admitted that they were trying to disarm a peaceful citizen who was lawfully carrying a weapon, and that he resisted. Damn right he resisted. What he's walking around with a concealed carry that he's lawfully allowed to carry, and they approached him and tried to take his gun from him, and he simply resisted, still didn't shoot at them, still didn't threaten them, and they just admitted in their official statement that they shot first. Fuck else you need to see around here.
You knew that they were going to make some sort of excuse like that. And who was it? Was it Michael who said that he's surprised they didn't come out and call the guy a terrorist already? Christine Ohm or Pam Bondi or whomever. The mayor says, and I'm just summing up what he said here. He said, everyone is listening. Everyone listening. Stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you which side were you on when this happened. Your grandchildren will do the similar. What did you do to protect your city and your nation? This is not what America is about. This is not a partisan issue. This is an American issue. Everyone involved in this operation should be reflecting now, asking themselves, what exactly are you accomplishing? What is this doing? This is doing the exact opposite if you want peace and safety. It's the exact opposite if you want prosperity. Exactly the opposite. Standing up for American families, you're tearing them apart instead of standing up for them. So yes, these masked agents roaming the streets are emboldened with a sense of impunity that has to end. And he said, President Trump, this is a moment to act as a leader. Put America first. You have to achieve peace. Our city will come back. Take action now to remove these federal agents. That's what the mayor said.
Well, I hope the fuck he's saying that shit in the goddamn mirror. I hope the fuck he's standing in the bathroom, looking in the mirror and reading
What
those words.
What would you have him do, Jolly? What do you want him to do?
Any fucking thing besides what he's done, which is absolutely fucking nothing. This is the guy who got on TV and said, ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis, and then sat and watched ICE terrorize Minneapolis from the fucking mayor's office. Just like the gentleman you just heard.
Practically, listen, I got to challenge you here. What do you want him to do? You want him to get out there and fight it himself? Do you want him to deploy police or National Guard? I don't think that the locals can override the federal agents. What would you have him do? The governor has to deploy the National Guard.
Okay.
What would you have the mayor do?
Oh, sure. I would have the mayor to make sure the police are protecting the First Amendment rights of its citizens. They're not. I would have the mayor challenge the fact that he can't even conduct an investigation of a shooting that happened in his own city. I would have the mayor, like you just heard the gentleman say on the Status Quo interview, I would have the mayor, if I was the mayor, I'd be out in the fucking streets protesting myself, at least showing a presence. Do I think the mayor has the force or legal ability to completely stop this? No, but there's a lot of room between I can't do nothing and I didn't do anything. All right, that there's a lot of room between that, and I'm sorry, but he didn't fucking do anything. And I'm not putting the blame on him. Listen. Let's not be ambiguous and let's not twist words. I'm not putting the blame on the mayor. He didn't deploy fucking ICE there. But I'm saying he's standing up here saying ICE, get out. Dude, you got to be. We've watched you for the last 2 weeks be mostly absent. I'm sorry, but if you talk to most of the residents of Minneapolis, Mayor Fry is not he's not super popular. I'm going to be honest with you. But I don't want to talk for Minneapolis. They can speak for themselves. But just from my experience, talking to citizens in Minneapolis, not super popular mayor. And then, like I just said, why is the Minneapolis Police Department out here assisting ICE? Because they have been. They have been. I got it on video. The Minneapolis Police Department assisting ICE. I got it on video. The Minneapolis State Police assisting ICE. There's more that these government officials can do than nothing. I understand you can't solve the whole problem, but here's didn't do anything and here's can't do anything. There's got to be something between that.
I want to know, Mike, you're former law enforcement. What do you say to that?
I mean, listen, we're in uncharted waters here, certainly in my lifetime. And I can recognize the difficulty of the position of state, local law enforcement leaders. That being said, this is not a one-off. We're seeing a pattern of behavior here that's playing out in city after city, state after state across the country. At the very least, other states and local leaders who have been placed on Donald Trump and Stephen Miller's target list should be engaged in emergency meetings right now at this moment talking about a plan to protect their citizens from ICE and Customs and Border Patrol if they are deployed to their city. I mean, what this mayor can do, what state, local law enforcement can do is exactly that. Deploy to these operational areas, monitor what's happening, and protect the citizens. And if that pits them against ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, I mean, listen, you're either going to stand idly by and allow American citizens to die, or you are going to intervene. Yes, I understand exactly what that means. Deploy the National Guard. Yes, I understand exactly what that means. That means that there may be a potential for a green on green scenario, a scenario in which, National Guard troops are standing, across from active duty military personnel. There may be a situation in which federal law enforcement agencies are standing, across from state, local, and municipal law enforcement agencies. But it really is that bad. That's the place where we are today, America. I'm just letting you know, and I'm speaking, not as somebody who's looking at this from a political standpoint, but from someone who spent 2 decades in law enforcement and can easily and honestly recognize when law enforcement agencies are acting without accountability, unlawfully, unconstitutionally, and are targeting not just migrants. That's not what this is about. This is about targeting Donald Trump's political adversaries, right down to the individual voters who had the wherewithal to stand up to him in the last election and the election cycle before that. This is all about political retribution. And, maybe to a lesser extent, it's Stephen Miller living out his perverse fantasy of an ethnic cleansing of America. But we're at that point now where law enforcement and National Guard troops need to be called in to intervene on the citizens' behalf to protect them and keep them safe. Otherwise, the citizens are going to do it them damn selves.
Yeah. And that's what's happening. And that's what I've been saying. I don't know if you guys have been following, Mike, but I've been saying something really terrible is going to happen here. Another person is going to end up dead, whether it's one of these agents that are out there or goons that are out there or another citizen. And we see what happened. But people are taking actions into their own hands. And look, I agree with you, Jolly. I think that I agree with you in some sense that I think that the local, state, officials should be out there, or elected officials, whether it's a congressman, senator, mayor, governor, or whatever it is, they should all be out there saying you're not going to, at least at some point, trying to protect the citizens, or showing them that they're standing with them on the front lines. I do believe that, but I also think that they need to be strategic about what they do. And I find the governor, for me, has been, look, the mayor doesn't really have that much power. But for me, I think there is some onus on the governor to be more strategic about what he's doing, because it seems that he is, is just sort of stuck right now. And he appears weak to me. I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's just how I feel.
Listen, okay, let me say this. I'll go again. I want to reiterate. I understand the limited options the mayor has. I'm not trying to be overly harsh on the mayor.
No one is saying that, Jolly. We're just talking.
But for anybody else, I'm being realistic. Like Michael said, we're in uncharted waters. Listen, just like everybody else, this is my first Civil War. So, I don't 100% know what the answer is. I agree with Michael's analysis. I said the same thing about a week or so ago on a video I uploaded to my channel, in which I said, if Walz deploys the National Guard to protect the citizenry, and then Trump deploys the federal forces, I see green on green. That's what I see. Or blue on blue, we call it in the Army. But the point is, I don't know where that goes. I don't know how that looks. And I agree with you, Don. There has to be some strategic approach here. But I'm going to simply offer another perspective here that I think more people need to consider. The only ones fucking taking strategic fucking positions, the only ones who are fucking biding our fucking time and putting our tongue in our mouth and fucking,
protesters.
is us,
and
is the people
citizens, yeah.
not escalating it. The escalation has continually come from the federal government. The escalation has continually come from the White House. It has continually come from Kristi Noem. It has continually come from Pam Bondi and J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller and Donald Trump. That's where the escalation continues to come, because they continue to authorize these thug goons who don't have the training, who don't have the temperament, who don't have the experience to be out here in the streets with not only less than deadly force, but deadly force. They continue to use it. Don, right now while we're having a conversation, I received a text message from a citizen on the street in Minneapolis who was on the ground when it happened, has a screenshot of the pre-shooting debate between the cops.
Have them send it to us. Have them send it to us. We'll put it up.
There's a reason I'm not throwing it up right now, but I want to show you. I want to say this. I was already notified there's a better angle of this shooting that will be circulating the internet soon enough. The people that took it wanted to get to a safe place so they wouldn't get harassed by ICE. Just so everybody knows, ICE is out here conducting unauthorized searches of your home and residence without warrants signed by judges. So people are worried about that. But in the screenshot that I just received on my phone, you can see the victim holding his phone as he argues with Border Patrol. So if the screenshot I just received is indicative of the other video we're about to see come public, then what we're going to see is somebody holding a cell phone, observing ICE, and just because he was holding a weapon legally, they attacked him and tried to disarm him. Now, to all the people that have been screaming Second Amendment, tyrannical government over my dead body, all the NRA members out there, the government just attacked the legal gun owner and tried to disarm him. Do you know where we are now?
We can see that that's indeed.
Yeah. I want to listen in on this and then just to hear what they're saying here. Jolly, I know that you're upset and you have the frustration because you've been out there and you've seen what happened. Let's listen.
A lot of people out here protest the killing of another person in Minneapolis.
Hey, Don. Come here.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I got to jump.
Go ahead, Mike.
My
yeah,
kids
I'm
are
jump
they're forming a mutiny.
Down the street a little bit just to be able to hear
listen,
from some of these people who
Mike, thank you. Can I close out real quick with you? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
So Michael Fanone and Jolly here, both of them have been fighting. Michael, I also just want to talk to you about the week that you've had. If you can just share with us.
I got to interrupt. The guy talking. See the guy talking. See that guy talking right there? Always been a police shirt.
Yeah.
That's Minneapolis resident Cortez Rice. He was very close to George Floyd. He was a very prominent, outspoken figure. Right after the George Floyd murder, his name's Cortez Rice. He was really close friends with George Floyd. I'm just bringing that up to show you the fact that this is the same city where all that happened, the same city we've seen police brutality, and now look where we are 5 years later. Just some juxtaposition there. That's Cortez Rice talking.
Thank you, Jolly. Michael, look, this goes into, what we're seeing now. January 6th, you got attacked by that, saying that you were lying and other officers and tried to make things seem like, as they are here, that we don't have the sense to know what we know from our own eyes and ears.
Yeah, no, I mean, for those of you who didn't catch it, Jack Smith testified in a public hearing.
He's a special prosecutor.
Congressional hearing. Correct. Jack Smith was the special prosecutor appointed by Merrick Garland to investigate the January 6th insurrection, among other charges that were eventually brought against Donald Trump. They never got to play out because Donald Trump was elected president and DOJ policy prohibits the prosecution of a sitting president. That's their policy. I went to the hearing. I wanted to support Jack Smith. And while I was there, one of the congressmen, his name is Troy Nehls, who I wasn't really that familiar with other than he was a, Trump sycophant. I later learned that he was a disgraced cop who was fired for mishandling and tampering with evidence. He's also a stolen valor guy. He wore a combat infantryman medal for a number of years and used that to get elected not only to Congress but also to run as a sheriff in his home state of Texas. So the guy's just a piece of shit. But he has, as part of the new January 6th committee run by Republicans to investigate the day, determined that it was not Donald Trump that was responsible for the January 6th insurrection, but law enforcement. And so during his statement that he decided to call out myself, Harry Dunn, Aquilina Ganell, and Danny Hodges, who are all present in the gallery, he addressed us and I addressed him. I told him to go fuck himself. And that is, as you can imagine, not something that they're accustomed to in congressional hearings. But listen, for those at home, none of this is real. This administration is bullshit. The power comes from the people. They only exist because we allow them to exist. And once we start treating them as they should be treated, which is with no respect, no decorum, treat them as the insurrectionists that they are, they lose their power. And that's what happened in the hearing room. Troy Nehls was embarrassed. He turned to Jim Jordan, who was equally in shock. And yeah, I followed up with, I looked Troy Nehls in the eye because he told me that I should be on medication. And I gave him the middle finger and told him to go fuck himself again. And I hope that they have the balls to subpoena me to another hearing so that I can engage in the same type of conduct and behavior and bring attention to the rewriting of January 6th. And I would encourage everyone that's watching right now, go to the White House's new official website recounting their version of what happened on January 6th, in which they blame law enforcement, Antifa, paid agitators, FBI informants. They literally throw every single conspiracy theory at the wall to see what sticks. And it's disgusting. And I'm not going to allow it to happen. Just like I know Jolly and you, Don, are not going to allow this administration to continuously gaslight us and the American people into believing their fascist, authoritarian, and racist bullshit.
Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Jolly.
Love you, brother.
Thank you so much. Love you. I'm going to keep this footage up, guys. If you're watching, I'm going to continue this on the channel. You're going to see the footage, and I will check back in now and then. I'm not going far, but I'll have it up, and I'll be watching. So we'll let Jolly and Mike go, and thank you again to both of you, and be safe. But we're going to continue on with our coverage. You can watch right here, and I will hop in with analysis, in and out. Okay.
Shout out to Minneapolis strong.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, Jolly. See you guys.
Just let them know I gotta change out the battery.
All right, we're putting our camera here just down for a moment. It's going to remain stationary here for just a moment because we're going to change out a battery on our equipment that we use to go live to you.
He's complying right now. He's complying. They're down talking to him. See, he's complying. He's moving. He's down.
He's moving. He's fine. He's doing what he needs to do to stay safe. We need you to do what you need to do to stay safe.
That's just not right. That's what I'm saying. A lot of messages that folded for 50K. Nigga, I got that on my watch, nigga. I got that on my watch, nigga. 50K. Bitch ass boy. Man. I got that shit on my watch, boy. 50K. We got 50K bonus, nigga. Come on, bitch. Bitch ass boy. Where you from? Where you from? What's that gonna do, nigga? Let me hold your face. You a bitch. You know you a bitch. A gun, nigga. You know you a hoe, nigga. I'm very low. I smell Nazis. I smell Nazis. Where y'all going? Where y'all going? Get to your own. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good That's how I want to be. What's wrong with you? You ain't shooting in my head, too. You want to go pistol with me? You go pistol with me? Shoot me. Bitch, come on. Come on. Fuck you niggas. Fuck all you niggas. Come on.
Back up! Back up! Well, I hope not again. That really sucked the first time. Back up! Don't get on the excuse. Back up! I'm looking at you. Back the fuck up. They want to fight. I'm looking right at you. Back up. Don't give them any excuse. This is what democracy looks like. 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 Our streets. 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 Renee good. 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 At least you know some good, I guess. I don't know if my now! Ice out! Now! It was not fun. Ice out! Now! Ice out! Now! Ice out! Now! Ice out! Now!
Doing this other than to terrorize and frighten us. ICE is doing no protection. I have only seen them terrorize my fellow community members. I have seen them provide zero value to our community. And if they're going to keep coming out and killing us, I just don't know what else there is to do.
Other than to be in the streets, do you feel cowed or intimidated at all by the federal government, by its use of force now, shooting and killing 2 people in Minneapolis?
Absolutely, it frightens the shit out of me, if I could say that.
But yet you're standing here.
I don't know what else there is to do. We're at the end of the line, and it needs to be stopped.
When you say it needs to be stopped, really spell out what needs to happen to make you feel safe, to make your friends, neighbors feel safe in their communities right now.
We need federal agents out of Minnesota. Their presence here is doing nothing to help us and everything to hurt us. And until they are gone from our state, I will be out here every day I can be. And I will be fighting for our freedoms on the streets.
What does fighting for freedom look like in a modern America and today?
I think it's going to depend on each person and what they feel comfortable with, right? When the government is out here killing people with no recourse, right? I understand people's fear. And the greatest thing you can do is help your communities in need. Find the people who need the most help and be there for them. And we're getting shot at again. We're getting going off here in the crowd. John and I are making a beeline out of it. Wasn't clear to me what led up to that.
Nothing.
Yeah, it seemed like the law enforcement and the protesters are just content standing there, and then all of a sudden, law enforcement starts throwing tear gas.
Yeah. Over here.
Trying to safely make our way out of that cloud of tear gas. You see, when agents use tear gas, when authorities use tear gas, they tear gas everyone, including the elderly. I mean, it affects entire communities.
Heads up, there's another one.
We're looking at agents throw even more out now. I keep saying agents. These are not the federal government. This is local authorities who are doing this.
Let's get out of here.
John and I are backing up down the street here. Just trying to make sure that we're staying a safe distance. It looks like authorities are the tear gas canister rolled just behind John. We're trying to keep ourselves off to the side. We're behind a car, taking shelter. There's more tear gas is being thrown behind where we're standing right now, so we're going to try and move and get beyond it before it builds up and traps us in the middle of it.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you good?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
All right, come on.
You're hearing the screams of people in the distance, sirens. And you can see there at the end of the street, law enforcement leaving the intersection.
Run, cowards! You fucking pussies! Cowards!
And you see that ambient. John, turn the camera that way just for a second. Just trying to show people that ambient haze. And the law enforcement's still throwing more.
Fucking cowards, run! Fucking run!
Well, you see all that ambient haze in the air. Tear gassing an entire neighborhood. And it's that mirroring of tactics between federal agents and local law enforcement. They're pulling all that tear gas as they leave. It makes people here on the ground feel as though there is no meaningful distinction between the federal government and local authorities when that happens.
People suffering.
We're watching people move down the alleyways here.
Keep an eye over here.
Trying to keep our heads on a swivel right now. Law enforcement leaving to the east along 26th.
Don't your head down.
Yeah. We're keeping our head down right now just because there's a lot of stuff flying through the air. Protesters are throwing back the spent tear gas canisters and water bottles at police as they leave the scene. I know you see people building those barricades again, this time right at the intersection of Nicolay and 26th, which is where we had heard the scene of the shooting was. Yeah, more tear gas being fired here into the crowd by law enforcement.
Watch your head.
Yep, I'm good.
Get behind the car.
We're again pulling back, moving behind some cover here. Just to avoid being hit by everything that's being thrown through the air right now. Mostly tear gas canisters being lobbed back and forth between law enforcement and the protesters. I just want to point out something, that what's happening here Yep. The federal government shoots and kills someone here near this intersection where we're standing right now.
Hey, T, come here.
Yep.
Ready? We're gonna run.
All right.
Come on.
Yep.
Keep your head down.
Yep. The federal government shoots and kills a second person here in Minneapolis, then leaves and prompts local authorities to tear gas Minneapolis residents. But make no mistake, what is happening out here is a scene that would not have happened had the federal government just not opted to shoot a second person. Shoot and kill a second person in Minneapolis. This crowd gathered to protest because another member of their community had been gunned down by federal immigration agents who are ostensibly here on a mission of safety, so the administration says, to make America's streets safer, to arrest criminals, the quote-unquote worst of the worst. But in effect, what is actually happening is that American citizens, and certainly immigrants who don't have criminal records, are also being detained. Also being detained, arrested, deported, and in now 2 cases, killed by the federal government. You ask any people, anyone here in the Twin Cities, or most anyone, they will tell you that they feel much less safe with the federal government, feel much less safe with the federal government's presence on their streets. Or see here is like a impromptu march developing with the protesters.
Hey,
it's you again.
We gotta quit meeting like this. How spicy is the air?
I'll be alright. Hey, you good, bud?
I have,
Yeah.
My eyes are done.
Oh, yeah.
Your goggles aren't working, right?
Not really. But I keep taking them off.
What's that?
Keep picking them up. Yeah. My eyes are fluffy.
Where are we even marching?
I don't have to tell you. I feel it too.
Hey, back me up.
Yeah. You see this impromptu march now underway in Minneapolis.
Thank you.
There's perhaps a couple hundred people are marching through the streets, yelling "fuck ICE" in the wake of another person shot and killed by the federal government.
Take that off for a bit.
Yeah.
Yo. There's two right-wing streamers in the crowd. And they're like hyping shit out.
I'm not leaving this shit, bro. We gotta start thinking, you guys.
So, somebody hold this block down. Make sure everybody in this area is safe. We gotta keep moving. Who's Corgan? Wait.
This second killing at the hands of immigration agents comes a day after tens of thousands of people took to the streets here in Minneapolis as part of a general strike to call on the Trump administration to remove its immigration agents from their neighborhoods. People have been worried about what could happen. And so far, it is just more suffering and now more death on the streets of Minneapolis.
Ready?
It's many more than just a couple hundred people, as I initially estimated. Many hundreds now on this impromptu march through the south side of Minneapolis, circling the site where one of their own citizens was shot and killed just earlier this morning. The march is now returning to Nicollet Avenue. Nicollet Avenue. where again demonstrators have put up those impromptu barricades across the street. And this is similar to the barricades that we saw built in the wake of Renee Good's killing as well, where around the scene where she had been shot and killed, people built barricades much like this as a way to try and just establish what they called an autonomous grieving zone, or a place that was free from the influence of local and federal authorities, where it could just be people coming together in attempts at mutual aid, as you're seeing being set up here on the street corner. People giving out drinks, snacks, hand warmers, and a way to come together as a community and mourn.
I think there's thousands of people out here today.
Mourn the loss. Mourn the loss of another member of their community taken from them by the federal government. And we kind of got to a point here where we're on a little bit of a raised area, and we can look out, and I think it's safe to say there are thousands of people out here, as John just pointed out. Thousands in the streets near the intersection of 26th Street and Nicollet on Minneapolis' south side.
I need to tie my shirt.
Yeah. Now you see here.
Yeah, hold it.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. See here the hundreds or thousands of people now out in the street occupying this intersection where a 37-year-old man was shot and killed by federal agents just today.
Oh.
Good. We're going to try and work our way towards the center of this crowd. I don't know if the energy of this crowd comes across through the camera, but I would describe this as righteous rage and indignation. Horror and mourning and anger all rolled up into one. Directed squarely at the federal government that shot and killed a second person in Minneapolis this month. The Department of Homeland Security is already trying to spin the story in their favor, trying to justify why another one of their agents killed another person from Minneapolis, as though people from Minneapolis, the Twin Cities area, call out for their federal government to stop brutalizing and stop killing them.
This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
The protest right now, the chant right now is, "This is what community looks like."
This is what community looks like. 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 This is what community looks like.
I'm seeing people.
What?
We're hearing people deliver speeches, so we're trying to get closer here.
We need to keep it going. The only way we are going to be changed is with long-term, sustained resistance. This is what it looks like when we show up for our communities and we fight back. We have been getting stabbed on the streets all morning. We have been getting shot all morning. And look at this. You showed up. It is not the time to bow down. It is not the time to behave. It is not the time to comply. Right. Alex Petty was shot this morning by ICE. Renee Nicole Good was shot 2 weeks ago by ICE. Keith Porter Jr. was shot 2 weeks ago by ICE. And black and brown people have been screaming about these problems for years. Fuck ICE! Fuck ICE! They are apparently claiming that there was a weapon on him that was taken after the fact. Have you guys seen the video? Did you hear the shot? 10 shots! To one unarmed rapid responder standing up for their community. None of us are saying, say their name. None of us are saying shame. Fuck guys. Stand up. Fight back. Alex Petty
It is so much more important than just staying here and keeping the block to make a point. We are here to enforce our fucking rights. They are violating our rights. The only thing that will save us is community like this. Midterms will not save us. MPD will not save us. The federal government will not save us. It is up to the people. All power belongs to people. Now, I want you guys to sing a song with me for a second. Alchemize this pain into productive energy. Alchemize this pain into sustainable solutions. All right? Repeat after me. Hey-oh, we won't be silenced while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Come on. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Will you be silent? We won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Please continue. Please continue to show up. Please continue to fight back. It is up to us. Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Chingada migra! Ice out! 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 Fuck ice! Ice out! Fuck ice! Ice out! Fuck ice! Fuck ice! Fuck ice! Fuck ice! Fuck
You are listening in on that fury that the people of the Twin Cities are feeling for their federal government right now. And the joy and solace that they are finding together.
Right now, we have DHS on our right side coming in. We have officers trying to close in behind us. Keep your eyes open. Do not let them pedal us in here, and do not be afraid. Hold this block. Let's break it down.
Hey, say his name. Hey, hey. Hey, guys. Hey, cars. 2 blocks that way.
No fear! Immigrants are welcome here, no hate! No fear! Immigrants are welcome here, no hate! No fear! Immigrants are welcome here, no hate! No fear!
Let's go set the
Immigrants are welcome here, no hate!
We're setting the camera down here. We've got to give John's arms a break from holding it up above his head for so long.
No fear! Immigrants are welcome.
I mean, you can feel the passion here in this crowd. You can feel the power of these moments. You can feel that you're among history here. That has not been lost on me these last couple of days. When there were tens of thousands of people out in downtown Minneapolis because a 37-year-old man was shot and killed by the federal government. The federal government's trying to spin it, trying to make themselves sound justified in taking another human life extrajudicially for the second time in just a few weeks here in Minneapolis. John, if you want to just point the camera back here.
But we are taking the mob back, right? Yeah. These are our streets, right? All right, so we're gonna move it back over to 26 and Nicolette, where a life was taken, and we are gonna hold it the fuck down.
Can you blow here? Blow.
Oh, you want like hot air?
I'm trying to get the shit out.
Oh, I see.
Oh shit, bro. Look at my camera, bro.
Roasted? Oh, man. Yeah, Woody.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
We're moving with the crowd here back into the intersection of 26th and Nicolette.
What's up, bro?
Hey, Dexter.
You guys doing good?
All right, we're all right. You all right? All right. Are you caught up in any of that shit?
You're not going.
And this guy he walked up to me and he said,
I'm gonna stay with you for a minute. Yeah. Just stay together. Also,
Over here.
It's up to you if you want to grab it.
I'm a reporter. I was looking at interview. Thank you for all y'all are doing.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Would you mind if you do that?
The last minute decision only lives a few blocks away, and my father jumped the man and then he went angry. Right in anger.
Would you mind if I interviewed you on camera? right, John. All right.
I don't know what this is, you know? I don't think I want to.
No. All right. Thought we had an interview lined up there, but last second deciding against it. We're going to try and get a few more voices from this crowd before we call this stream to an end, because the crowd has very clearly occupied this intersection. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm not seeing any law enforcement out here to challenge them. And we've got to be mindful of ourselves in this cold. I already had a loss of feeling in my hand there for a little bit until we got some heated gloves and hand warmers on here. So we're trying to be safe. But I'm going to try and find a couple of people to hear from in this crowd, just to process their emotions in this moment. Pardon me, man. What's up? I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing people about how they're feeling in this moment. Would you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure, why not? Sure.
This is my cameraman, John. My name's JT.
And who are you with?
Status Quo, or online independent progressive outlet.
Okay.
First of all, how do you want to be identified?
You can call me Josh.
Josh. Thank you for talking to us, Josh.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, the first thing I wanted to start with is just processing your emotions in this moment. We're standing here after a second person shot and killed earlier today by immigration enforcement agents. The second person killed this month by immigration enforcement agents. How would you summarize your emotions in this moment?
At first, it was just utter sadness and then disgust. And then that turned to a quick boiling rage. The audacity of this government to think that they could just push and push and push and hurt citizens. And sure, it's the second shot, not the first died by hands of ICE. There are people in detention who were killed, outright killed. There's one who was recently pronounced dead by homicide because he was strangled to death. These things are happening constantly, and they're not being held accountable, and it's causing such fury and rage. What is the point of having a nation if we cannot even protect each other and ourselves?
I want you to explain the message you're here to deliver with the flag. Your flag is, bringing it down here. It's the American flag upside down, and it says, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you." Can you explain the message that you're here, that what this symbolizes and means to you?
This was the last words of Renee Good. She was just there to protect herself and others. She wasn't angry. She wasn't trying to hurt him. She was trying to get away because he was dangerous and drew a gun on her. She was trying to flee for her life. She's not a bad person. And if we're attacking citizens and killing them when their last words to you are, "I'm not mad at you," what are we doing? That's a monster right there. And he needs to be held accountable. And this administration needs to be held accountable. And we're in danger because of that.
And of course, the upside down American flag, a universal sign of distress. Where do you see? I mean, it always feels like in these moments where you feel like you're living through history, that you're standing on the precipice of something, but you can't always see what's next. I'm just curious, from your perspective right now, what do you see as next for this movement for justice here in Minneapolis?
Ideally, ICE gets out. They leave the city, they leave our state, and they never come back. That's what I want. I want peaceful resolution. I want them to just leave. Leave us alone. Leave our citizens alone. If not, I hope that we continue with what we've been doing, which is holding them accountable, keeping eyes on them, recording them, following them, and making sure they're not hurting other people, other innocent people. That's what I want to have happen, is they need to be held accountable. And today, I hope that our message is heard. Our message of get out. We no longer want you here. We never wanted you here in the first place.
That's the same message that the governor delivered earlier today, said that the Trump administration should remove all agents from Minnesota immediately. Is there anything more that you want to see from your state, your local leaders, from the nominal opposition party in this country, the Democrats, in this moment?
I want them to actually do something. They're doing nothing. Ooh, we'll file a letter. Ooh, we'll sue in court. They're doing it. They're hurting us. Protect us. That's what you're supposed to be doing, but they're not protecting us. I can't say exactly what they should be doing because that's from them. But I want them to do something. Get out here. March with us. Have your agents stand by and keep things civil and supportive. Officers are obligated to hold other officers accountable and hold them to the law. What are they doing? They're not doing that. And we need to take actual action. He's doing nothing. He's standing by doing nothing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time. Josh, before I let you go, is there anything else you would want to say while you had this platform?
Stay safe out there, everyone. Keep it peaceful where you can and keep yourself safe and stay warm.
You stay safe too, Josh. Thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it. All right. You want to say this on camera?
No, but I can say it on the record.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, the National Guard is on its way.
Is it?
Yeah, they support it. Yeah, but for who then? For us. All fucking people. But what I would say is, mobilize in a way where their resources can be used to protect our citizens. I remember you at the
Pardon me. I'm a reporter. I'm not interviewing people about how they're feeling at this moment. Would you mind if I ask you some questions? Sure?
Yeah.
Pardon me, folks. I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing people about how they're feeling in this moment. Would you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's do it. She can talk.
You can?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
There you go.
Sorry, hi.
Hi. So first of all, I just want to find out, how do you want to be identified?
My name Courtney.
Courtney, can you spell that for me really quick?
Courtney.
Thank you very much, Courtney. My name is JT. Cameraman's name is John. So I first, like I said, I'm asking everybody, how are you feeling in this moment? We're standing in an intersection where immigration agents, federal agents, have shot and killed the second person now in Minneapolis this month. How are you feeling right now?
Enraged. How dare they? How dare they come to our city? How dare they kill my neighbors in the street like dogs? And where's Tim Walsh? Where's Amy Klobuchar? Where's Tina Smith? Where's Angie Craig? Where's fucking anybody?
Where do you need them to be right now? Where and what do you need to see from your local leaders?
They should be here. They should be here. They should get ICE out. Nobody's fighting for us but us. We've been abandoned.
How does it feel to be surrounded by your community in this moment?
Look at these people. They're not scared. All power to the people. If they won't show up, we'll save ourselves, I guess.
Where were you when you first heard that another person had been killed, and what was your first instinct? What did you do immediately after?
I was making breakfast for my 3 small kids in St. Paul, and I saw the video, and I sat on my kitchen floor, and I wept. And then I came here.
You said you have 3 kids.
I do.
I don't know if you're old enough to really rock what's happening right now, but if they are, how are you trying to explain to them what's going on in their world and in their backyard, basically?
Kids are smart and they're capable. They know. My kids are 10, 8, and 6. They know that ICE has now killed 2 people who didn't deserve to die. They know that they're stealing kids. They know that they're here to hurt families. And they know it's wrong. Every kid's fable is about the good guys defeating the bad guys. I hope to God they see that happen here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
No, thanks for being here. We appreciate
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
All right. I want to draw things to a close here as thousands of people are occupying the intersection of 26th and Nicollet here on Minneapolis' south side, just hours after this spot was the scene of another man, a second person, being shot and killed by the Trump administration this month. this month, and the Department of Homeland Security is already trying to spin it to their ends, already trying to make justifications for taking a person's life here, for demonstrating against the Trump administration, standing up to their immigration agenda that is playing out here on the streets of Minneapolis. The governor has called for the Trump administration to remove ICE agents from the state. We saw law enforcement out here, federal agents, city and local law enforcement using tear gas on the people who came out to protest the taking of a 37-year-old man's life who was shot multiple times. A community punished for grieving. And now they are coming together in this act of solidarity, vowing to hold on to this intersection and make it a place for them to come together, to be together in this moment. We've been on the ground here reporting in Minneapolis for going on 2 months now, since the beginning of Operation Metro Surge, the beginning of the Trump administration's pressure campaign here on the state of Minnesota and on the Twin Cities. We watched and warned as the pressure mounted here in the Twin Cities until it eventually culminated with the shooting and killing of Renee Good here on Minneapolis' South Side. And then we were out in downtown Minneapolis as tens of thousands of people took to the streets here, saying that they needed ICE agents to leave their communities. They felt less safe, comparing the agents to members of the Ku Klux Klan. If that gives you any sort of sense as to how the people of the Twin Cities are feeling in this moment. And now violence has come again. Deadly violence has come again. The federal government shooting and killing one of its own citizens here in Minneapolis' South Side. You can feel that you're living through history and you wish you weren't. You wish that you weren't having to stand here at this intersection where someone's life was taken and to hear the voices of the people crying out in anguish down here. Pardon me. Yeah, the federal agents running at people who had the temerity to come down here and stand up against a law enforcement agency, ICE, that is more well-funded than many countries' militaries. And they threw tear gas. We showed it to you live. We experienced it ourselves through flashbangs, through tear gas, deployed pepper spray, fired pepper balls into the crowd. We ourselves were caught up in that. Times left where I couldn't see, where John couldn't breathe. All to bring you the scenes as to what's actually happening here on the ground, so that you're not just left with what the corporate press and what they're going to report from the DHS press release about this. I want to thank you for being along with us here through this live reporting. I want to thank our partners at the Midas Touch Network. Please subscribe to us, subscribe to them, as our packaged reporting will come out later today and in the days to come of what transpires here on the ground in the Twin Cities area.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When is it too much? When is it time to overflow? Where's the line, and when are we done dealing with this? Okay? My question to anyone, including the viewers at home, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Because if it's not here, how many more people have to die? 5. 5 of my neighbors have to die? 10? How many of my neighbors have to die before you're out here in these streets? How many? How many of us have to be slain in the street by our government like it's some kind of crazy alternate universe? This is not how we were raised. This is not the America we want. How many of our neighbors have to be killed?
Not paid protesting. Rural areas do not understand. This is real. We came
Where do you
down
draw
here
the
to
line?
represent, to support what happened, and they ran at us with their vehicles, just pepper spraying us. I mean, it was gagging. This is not paid protesting. Indiana, Do you understand Wisconsin? Rural areas, you don't understand. This is real. Nobody's a paid protester. Was the man that lost his life a paid protester?
Are you an observer?
Yeah. This is horrible. They don't get it. It's like this is real. This is actually happening every day.
So you were here on the ground before that?
I was here because my buddy told me that this was happening, and we came down to support. It's just, it's asinine. Where are they getting their news?
This is the United States of America, where people are being shot and killed by the federal government, and then the people who stand up to protest against it are accused of being paid agitators. And you just heard from the gentleman just a moment ago asking how many is enough, how many have to die.
Immigrants are welcome here.
How many have to die? It's not a question I'm prepared to answer in this moment, but I think something that deserves deep reflection from all of us, from myself, from John behind the camera, to all of you watching at home. A sentiment to internalize. And anybody who's still a supporter of this administration, I'd put that question to you. How many have to die? How many Americans have to die?
It's not even about black and white no more.
Yeah, it's not. Another reporter just yelled at me here off camera. It's not about black and white anymore. This is a multiracial coalition that is out here taking the streets and protesting and grieving the loss of one of their neighbors. We're going to continue to report here on the ground. We're going to end this stream here. Before I go, I did not think it appropriate this entire time, in the wake of a man being killed, to make any pitch for money, and I won't make a big one here either. But I'll note that, unlike a lot of coverage that you'll see of this, it'll be broken up with commercials for toothpaste. We're not beholden to any corporate voice. We get to be here. We get to show you what happens. We don't have to break it up for any moment. We get to show you real, raw, unfiltered what's happening on the ground. And we are able to do that because of your support. If you want to help support us, go to statuscoup.com/join. We'd greatly appreciate it. I won't push it any more than that. It's not appropriate in this moment, but it is what allows us to be sustained. And I want to thank all of our members that we were able to offer this coverage. It's because of our members that we were able to be here in this moment and be able to deliver this coverage to you. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of John Farina behind the camera, Status Coup. Sorry, I'm hearing. Yeah, we're hearing more people get on the microphone, get on megaphones here to start delivering speeches here to this crowd.
Never served.
I don't think much of what's being said right now, John, is probably going to come across on the microphone. Let's see.
Can you see in the video where it happened?
I've been looking for the business front, and I haven't seen it, but I would need to watch it again.
Let's go to the back room, bro.
People have set up.
Right.
Love your guys' work. Love your work.
So we're going to wrap up now. The cold's starting to get to me. I lost my winter hat at some point, and this balaclava by itself is not going to keep me warm very long. So I want to thank our small but mighty team here at Status Quo. John Farina behind the camera, who is just incredible at keeping me safe, keeping himself safe, while we are able to capture all of this history for you. And I thank our team who do so much of the production back home. Jordan Sheridan, our boss. Colin, Michelle, and Ty, our producers. Oh. And of course, our reporting partners here in all of this, Midas Touch Network. Thank you very much. Get subscribed to us so you'll be notified if we go live here again today as we cover the fallout from the second shooting and killing here on the streets of Minneapolis on the south side. But for now, live in Minneapolis, I'm JT Siskowski for Status Quo. Stay safe.
Yeah, local and national labor leaders coming to our meeting tomorrow too at the Labor Center.